These air fryer chicken nuggets are so fast to make and they come out perfectly golden every time. I'm Justin from Cooking with Coit. I specialize in clean comfort cooking. And if you love this video, make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. Let's get started. Let's first go over all the ingredients you need to make this recipe. Chicken breast, Parmesan cheese, egg, salt and pepper, dried parsley, breadcrumbs, and flour. And the one piece of special equipment that you need is an air fryer. Guys, we're making chicken nuggets. I'm so excited to show you this recipe today because I like to eat like a child. I like French fries, corn dogs, chicken nuggets. I like literally all the kids' food. I also sometimes steal my son's kid snacks, like especially the little fruit snacks. Oh, those are so good. So anyway, I'm super excited for this recipe today. First thing we're gonna do is to trim the fat off of our chicken breasts. So let's do it right now. You don't have to go crazy with this, but just trim any of the visible fat that you can see that clearly just shouldn't be there. And the reason why we're doing that is because, you know, you don't wanna bite into a whole bunch of chicken fat. That's like not that cool. So just give these guys a little trim wherever you can see it. The next thing we're gonna do is to cut this chicken breast into chicken nugget sized pieces. So it's a bit subjective. I try to always think of the classic McDonald's chicken McNuggets and like what size are those? One thing I realized just about 5 minutes ago, I bought chicken fillets. And what those are is it's chicken breast literally cut in half. Don't do what I did. The problem that I'm gonna have right now, since these are chicken fillets, is that the nuggets are never gonna be that big. They're gonna be a little bit flatter. That's okay. Ideally though, you wanna be cutting whole chicken breasts so that you can make nice big nuggets if you want. So keep that in mind, just buy whole chicken breasts, very important. I'm gonna show you guys what I think is the perfect chicken nugget size. And this, oh, wait. See, because it was cut thin. There we go. Too thin. All right, guys, I can't show you the perfect chicken nugget size, but I think you get the idea. With the chicken cut into nugget-sized pieces, now I'm going to season it with salt and pepper. You don't really need to measure the amount of salt and pepper that you put on, but if you want to, it's a half a teaspoon of salt and a quarter teaspoon of pepper. And remember that we are going to flip these guys over and season the other side as well. All right, guys, so the next thing we're gonna do is to prepare our dredging stations. I feel like I'm a dredging station pro at this point because I have done it so many times. First thing we're gonna do is to add flour to our first bowl. That's a quarter of a cup. You really could use any kind of flour for this recipe. I don't think I've ever tried gluten-free flour, but I bet you could. Can't see any reason why it wouldn't work. Our next dredging station is going to be 1 egg beaten. In my recipe, you could also use melted butter for this step if you'd like. I find that a beaten egg really works the best because it seems to bind the next step, which is gonna be the breadcrumb mixture and the chicken tender really well. Our third dredging station is going to be our breadcrumb mixture. So let's go ahead and add half a cup of breadcrumbs into the bowl. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I am using panko, which is just Japanese breadcrumbs. You can use panko or you can use regular breadcrumbs, that's fine too. These are also Italian herb flavor. They could be plain. I'm just using Italian herb because that's what I had, but honestly, either one works. We're also gonna add a half a cup of grated Parmesan. The Parmesan is really nice with these tenders. It gives it this extra bit of flavor and a little saltiness that is awesome. So, so good. And the last thing we're gonna add, these things. I take them off every time and somebody in my house puts them back on. I don't like these. For the final step on our breadcrumb mixture, we're gonna be adding 1 teaspoon of dried parsley. And now let's give this mixture just a little mix so it's all well combined. All right, guys, so now let's get to the dredging. I have a very good technique for this process. First, take off any jewelry that you don't want to get chicken and flour and egg on. Step 1. Step 2, you've got a dry hand and you've got a wet hand. I don't care which hand is your dry hand or which hand is your wet hand, just pick one and stick to it. I am going to choose my right hand as my dry hand. So the first thing I'm gonna do is to take one of these chicken tenders, put it into the flour and just mix it around. Get it nice and coated and then give it a little shake, get the excess off. Dry hand is going to put it into the beaten egg. The wet hand is now taking over because I'm dealing with a wet ingredient. Toss it around in there. And then the wet hand again is going to take it and put it into the breadcrumbs mixture, just like that. Now the dry hand is gonna take over and I'm just going to put the breadcrumbs right on top, mix this guy around. You need a place to put these chicken tenders before you pop them in the air fryer, so I'm gonna put them right there. All right guys, so I know that the dry hand, wet hand can be a little confusing, so let me show you one more time. Dry hand, take the tenders into the flour. Mix them around, shake the excess off. Dry hand takes them and puts them into the beaten egg. Wet hand takes over. Wet hand transfers the chicken nugget into the breadcrumbs mixture. Dry hand takes over. And then the dry hand puts them on the plate. The reason why I do it this way is that it keeps your hands from really caking up. If I were to take my dry hand and then put it into the wet, I'm suddenly gonna get all sorts of layers of egg and flour and breadcrumb mixture all over my hands, and that's really annoying. You'd be constantly washing your hands. So keeping them separate saves you a lot of trouble. Next, we're gonna give these tenders a quick spray with some olive oil. You don't have to go crazy with the olive oil, just give everything a nice light coat. All right guys, so now we're gonna take these chicken tenders and pop them in the air fryer. Now do your best to try to keep these nuggets on a single layer in the air fryer. You don't really wanna stack them on top of each other too much because we want the hot air of the air fryer to be able to circulate around each of the nuggets, and that's what's gonna make them nice and golden. All right, now we're gonna pop them into the air fryer, and we are going to cook them at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 7 minutes. All right, guys, so the timer just finished on the first 7 minutes. Let's see how we're doing. Ooh, looking good, looking good. I'm gonna get a shot of these guys. Look how good those are looking already. So the next thing we're gonna do is just give these guys a little bit of a shake, just to kind of flip them over a little bit, flip them around. And then what I like to do is I like to add a little bit more of the olive oil spray. And what this is gonna do is just gonna help them golden up a little bit more. Okay, so there we go, that's all we need to do. And then now you have a decision to make. So I usually put in tenders like this for at least 1 more minute, but you could do anywhere between 1 and really 5 minutes depending on the thickness of your tender. Knowing how thick these are, I'm gonna say 2 minutes more and then I should be done. So let's do that. So again, we're gonna do 400 degrees, and this time we're only gonna do 2 minutes. All right guys, the 9-minute timer just finished. Let's see how we did. Whoa, guys, look at how beautiful these chicken nuggets came out. I cannot wait to give them a try. But before I do, if you love this recipe and you wanna see more just like it, check out my air fryers recipe playlist. All right, let's give these a try. My favorite dipping sauce for these chicken tenders is ketchup. Guys, let me tell you, these air fryer chicken tenders are so incredible. They're amazing for kids, they're amazing for adults. I think literally everyone will love these. I hope you give them a try. I'll see you in the next video.